The Resurgence Conference in Durban, held from the 17th to the 21st of July at the Inkosi Luthuli International Convention Centre, was a success, providing crucial business linkages for local entrepreneurs to form partnerships and investments. The event, focusing on moving the needle forward towards economic emancipation, is estimated to have injected 82 million rand into the city's economy and contributed 203 million rand to its gross domestic product. And for more on this, we're now joined by Rev Dennis Dillon, co-founder and co-convener of the Resurgence Conference in partnership with the eThekwini municipality. And he joins us now in studio. Reverend, thank you so much for your time and for coming in studio tonight. Of course, we know that you held this conference from the 17th until the 21st of July. For our viewers, maybe give us a bit of background. How did the Resurgence Conference come about?
Mbali, let me just say that it is such a pleasure to be with you, live and in person. And yes, the Resurgence Conference, which, wow, what an awesome experience we had in Durban last week. The concept behind the Resurgence Conference is really about how we bring together what I call the global African community to really talk about moving the needle forward economically. How do we work together to bring about economic growth? I'm excited about the impact that just our coming together, the delegation that we brought from the U.S., the delegation we brought from the Caribbean, the delegation from the other parts of Africa coming together in Durban. What an experience we had with almost maybe 800 or so people in attendance at the conference itself. 130 or so exhibitors that came together to exhibit and to show their products and services. And of course, the finale, over 4,000 people at the convention center with this awesome celebration. And so we're excited about the path ahead.
And would you say, looking at, the conference and the outcomes of the conference, would you say that you are satisfied with the work that you've put in?
I'm very satisfied. I do understand that when we talk about economic emancipation, when we talk about the journey beyond where we are, and I certainly want to commend and salute South Africa 30 years into this layer of freedom. And I say layer of freedom because I understand, yes, the ending of apartheid, but to a great degree, we're still dealing with a high level of economic apartheid. We're still looking at a huge gap between the per capita GDP for blacks, which is barely 68,000 rands, measured against 2.3 million rands for whites. So there's a huge gap. We do believe that we're on the right path. So yes, we are satisfied. We believe with all the connection that has taken place, the many leaders that came from the U.S., the potential investors and partners, people like celebrity chef Melba Wilson of Melba's, one of the top black chef in America, and just all of the other, I just don't want to start naming names because there were just so many great dynamic people that came, and just the connections that we've been making since the Durban conference is exciting.
What would you say, are the biggest takeaways from this conference? What is the biggest highlight for you for this year's conference?
Yeah. Don't have time to really go into all of them, but if I could just identify a couple of takeaways, I think number one, the commitment that was made by the business leaders coming from the U.S. in partnership with those in Durban and those across South Africa, for us to really form a network, an alliance between businesses in the U.S. and businesses in South Africa and in Durban in particular. So that's one important takeaway. We're going to make sure that that's happening. So there's more of an alliance. We believe that more South African products need to be marketed in the U.S. Black Americans are the richest blacks in the world as it relates to our per capita GDP. In fact, we would be the 8th largest nation in the world economically if Black Americans, less than 50 million of us, were a nation. That being the reality, we believe that there needs to be more alliance in terms of how do we create more partnerships, more businesses here, doing businesses, linking with their brothers and sisters on the other side of the Indian or Atlantic Ocean, if you will. I think that's number one. Number two, we talk about how do we increase opportunities around property development, real estate development. So we've also brought investors, developers, hoteliers, looking at that aspect of the business. Where the synergy, where are the points where we could probably create linkages and partnerships? That's an important piece for us. And I think we believe that it is so important that there are literally more of the Africans removed from the continent who are literally coming back and investing in the continent. And we believe that this ought to take place in the reverse as well. But for the moment, if we have more Africans on the continent investing, if we're now challenging municipalities and governments in America who benefit tremendously from the workforce power of blacks in America, so that these pension funds are not just invested in Europe and elsewhere, but how do we now get more of these dollars invested in Durban and in other parts of South Africa and the continent. So we're serious about that agenda as well. And I think the fourth takeaway that I want to just touch upon, because I know this is important to some people like Ron Kanene, who is South African, who happens to be one of the original cast members from The Lion King, who's been at the foundation of helping to really move this global resurgence movement forward, talking about arts and entertainment and tourism and how those areas get linked. So we are also on a path to get more blacks in America who are huge on leisure travel, so that they're buying timeshares and buying properties, so that they have a reason, tons of other reasons to visit South Africa more often. And so we're excited about all of these takeaways.
And of course, I mean, you are in collaboration with the eThekwini municipality, and I understand, I mean, there's been a major cash injection because of this conference that has been held, and the commitments thereof being made. I mean, 82 million rand being injected into the city's economy at the same time, with the contributions around 203 million rand to the gross domestic product. What does this mean for the people of eThekwini?
It means much, and I can't stress more the vision and the commitment of the leadership in eThekwini municipality, the new mayor just being present at the conference just about every day. Certainly shows the level of commitment that he has to this, and of course the chairman of economic development, the councillor for the area who really helped to organize much of this, and of course city manager Musa Mubele, who really put so much effort and so much into this. So to see that this is actually alive and it's happening, and just seeing the delegation traveling throughout eThekwini, and they are shopping, and they are shopping and buying in the restaurants and participating in the economic process of doing commerce in eThekwini. These are just the things that we want to see more of, and we're excited about the consistency of this. Since we've left, there are actually some, don't want to start calling names, who've actually journeyed back already to eThekwini, and there are plans being made, there are business alliances and the connections that are taking place. So I know eThekwini is serious about really making Durban the Miami Beach of South Africa, and I think it's ripe for that. The opportunities are clearly there.
Of course, and one would say that, I mean, all roads now lead to the preparations for next year. What what can we look forward to as you traverse that journey into ensuring a bigger and better Resurgence Conference next year?
To be honest with you, Bailey, I am a little nervous because there's just so much work around next year. We've been pushed already. There are reservations that have been made already, confirmations of in fact, today I'm talking to folks who says I'm on for next year, Reverend Dillon. So yes, we are working very, very hard on next year, and we're pretty confident that next year we're going to just have a powerful conference in Durban. Haven't resolved exactly what the date is going to be yet, but certainly we invite South Africa to come to New York for the New York leg of the conference that is going to take place in November this year, and that's going to be the huge springboard for what's going to take place back in South Africa next year, and we're certainly looking forward to it. We're excited about it.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in studio and telling us more about this Resurgence Conference.
Pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
All right. That is Reverend Dennis Dillon, co-convener and founder of the Resurgence Conference. Of course, that is in partnership with the eThekwini Municipality.